Okay, we got ourselves some new changes coming, kids. First off, I'm done with the whole face mask thing. I guess that was, yeah. Well, since ZO is already at the halfway point, and we're going to be starting Real Soldier, and also covering Power Rangers Beast Morphers from here on out, I figured switching between the three at this point was just going to be annoying. And besides, you got to see more of this, so. Alright, yeah, speaking of ZO, the Time Jackers are once again depicted as complete idiots because they completely wasted their trump card. Episode 25 marks the debut and premiere of a very, well, and another writer that, well, if this was written by anyone who actually knew what they were doing, would have completely destroyed the series. Today marks the day, 25, we get ourselves another ZO. Yeah, why would this break the series? Because, yeah, remember every single other time another writers were created, the villain faction that fought against the Kamen Rider whose powers they were derived from were also wiped away from the timeline. So, yeah, since the enemy faction of ZO is the Time Jackers and the Another Riders, guess what happens? Another ZO is created, the Time Jackers and the Another Riders should go poof! But again, this was written by people who are really not good at their jobs. So, yeah. So, oh, even better than that, just like with Zio, who can gain powers from the previous Kamen Riders through the Ride Watches, another Zio's MO is to go on a rampage, attacking previous contract holders, and acquire the power to transform into the previously created Another Riders. As seen at the beginning of the episode, he's at least attacked the goddamn Kuroto and gained the power to become another Zio, become another Oz. And by the end of it, he's gained the powers of another Xaid, another Build, again another Oz, another Gaim, another Wizard, another Fize, and another Forze. Did I already say another Xaid? But yeah. We're not exactly sure right now if he can actually steal if he can become the Another Riders from the three future Kamen Rider for the three future riders. Yeah, but I'm guessing that since he's going to be gone in the next episode, it's not going to matter anyway, because why would it? I mean, again, we have ourselves another rider who could replicate, who could transform and get even stronger by acquiring the powers of the previous Another Riders. And also, because it's still another ZO under there, and he's just borrowing the powers of the previous and other riders, the ride watches that Sogo and Gates have, they're not going to destroy him. Yeah, again, the Time Jackers are once again depicted as short-sighted specifically Schwartz is depicted as being a short-sighted moron, because yeah, if he could have just waited until all the previous until all the Another Riders from Kuga to Build were created before he go and pulls this trump card. But then again, I can't. Then again, there's also the fact that Oma Day is apparently coming closer, so I'm guessing he's running out of options here. Though again, he could have just waited until he created the remaining Another Riders to go and pull this stunt. Yeah, though apparently Oma Day is when Regulus, the brightest star in the Leo constellation, is at its brightest, and that's sometime during April. So yeah, this episode premiered on at the tail end of February. So yeah, actually no, it premiered around March 3rd. So yeah, they're on a bit of a time crunch here. And yeah, what's even better, the contract holder for another ZO, let's see, Hiryu Kakogawa, he has a serious axe to grind with Sogo. Yeah, since apparently 10 years before, him and Sogo were the survivors of a bus crash that not only killed Sogo's parents, because of course we have to get that cliche out of the way. Yeah, a Japanese hero with dead parents. What else is? And in other news, the sky is blue and the grass is green. Yeah, the bus crash not only killed Sogo's parents, but yeah, it's pretty much goes without saying that bus crash also killed Hiryu's parents. Yeah, sorry, just checking my computer there just to make sure the names are so I remember everything. Yeah, just making sure. Yeah. Anyways, It seems pretty obvious that Hiryu has, it's pretty obvious that for some reason, blames Sogo as the one responsible for this, even though they were both 8 years old. But then again, from his actions in this episode, Hiryu is quite clearly deranged. He has absolutely no qualms attacking the previous contract holders for the Another Riders just to acquire their powers. And yeah, Schwartz could not have picked a better for his purposes, he couldn't have picked a better candidate to receive the powers of another Zio. Since, he's more than willing to get stronger by any means necessary, and he seriously wants to kill Sogo as revenge for his parents, I guess. But then again, remember, when another rider is created, not only did the villain faction that Kamen Rider disappear, but also the writer himself has history erased so that he never remembers what it was like when he was a writer. We've seen this before, so what the shit, Lana? And yeah, I'm guessing that this was explained during Heisei Generations Forever. From what little I've heard about it, apparently Sogo and the Time Jackers they're apparently singularity points because. Yeah, in the events of Heisei Forever, Ryotaro, Kamen Rider Den-O, he still remembers and still has the powers of Den-O. Because, remembering back to Den-O, irregularity points like Ryotaro are immune to the effects of time manipulation. So, since apparently Sogo and the Time Jackers are immune to the effects of time alteration, just like with Ryotaro. So, But, and again, there's another bit of a weird point about this, since, remember Sogo first transformed into Zio in 2018, but another Zio's number is 2019. He was created, this year. Current year argument. So, I'm not sure if that's supposed to be significant or anything like that, but, again, this. I'm not exact. If Schwartz had created another Zio back in 2018, then that probably would have resulted in Zio and the Time Jackers. No, again, there are apparently special little snowflakes in this case. Whatever. Oh yeah, and White Wasp is since another Zio is running around attacking previous Another Rider contract holders to get their powers, Sogo, Gates, and White Wasp can't stop him. Actually, you know what? Forget it. I'm not going to be calling him White Wasp anymore. Because his powers are so completely, utterly broken, he can literally write the plot. White Wasp, with this stupid, he has the powers of Heaven's Door, basically. He can rewrite anything to occur. A mixture between Heaven's Door and Thoth from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. He can not only program things to happen, but he can also see he can basically manipulate the future to however he wants. So all tension is complete, and the plot is completely flushed down the toilet because we know that at any time, White Wasp can just say, "Oh my Zio, Kamen Rider Zio has a heart attack" or something like that. So from now on, I am just going to call White Wasp Chuck the Plot Convenience Fairy, because thanks Chuck. So Sogo, Gates, and Chuck can't do a thing can't do anything to do another Zio. But then Chuck is just also very subtly savior, my savior. Hello. You do know you can just wipe him out if he becomes Gates Revive, and Gates, being the tsundere idiot that he is, apparently the power of Gates Revive can only work if I'm not exactly sure how it was. Don't exactly remember how it was phrased in the episode, but apparently Gates has to be absolutely resolute in killing Sogo and stopping Oma Zio from coming to pass. But of course, Gates, being the idiot that he is, has completely waffled on this throughout the whole show. So naturally, when he tries to use the Gates Revive Hourglass thing to counter another Zio's writer swapping tactics, it's not working. And And yeah, even Chuck is like, oh, God. I wonder why am I worshiping this guy again? But then again, and yeah, so it's down to Sogo, and hold on a second. So yeah, it's down to Sogo and Hiryu to just basically go duke it out. But since, ever since Sogo acquired the powers of ZO2 and could see the future, Hiryu, as another ZO, can also could do the same thing. So yeah, they're basically perfectly matched. And yeah, apparently what Schwartz did, it's caused Ura and to just basically freeze up. They were not expecting him to create another ZO so soon, or at all in this case, because yeah, even both of those two dinguses realized that with another ZO running around, they risk the Time Jackers being erased from history. And if the Time Jackers weren't around, then Sogo wouldn't have become ZO, and if that had never happened, then the Kamen Riders wouldn't have had to lose their berries, and oh no, I've gone cross-eyed. Does anybody else smell burnt toast? I do. So yeah, once again, the show's premise is completely flushed down the toilet, and nobody seems to care. But why would they? Alright, on to more actually interesting news. We have ourselves the premiere of Power Rangers Beast Morphers. And yeah, there's actual, it looks like there's actual, they're actually going to put effort into this show. Yeah, just for the first episode, it's already proven that it seems to actually know what it's doing. Yeah, it looks like it's, well, but then again, this is still, technically a Neo Saban season since, well, okay. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Saban lost all the rights to Power Rangers and sold it off to Hasbro like a year or two ago. Technically, with Power Rangers Ninja Steel, the Neo Saban era is over. I say technically because, well, they still have the same writers, they still have Don Canil, but, well, again, for what little I've seen here, Hasbro seems to know what they're doing. For example, there's no overly obnoxious, unnecessary dialogue. There's no, it looks like they're not even bothering to use Dom Canil since, well, if I remember right in the credits, they got somebody else working on the music, and yeah, it's not the same garbage that we've been hearing since the beginning of Samurai. Yeah, no, seriously. When Canil was in charge, they kept reusing tracks from let's see, Megaforce reused tracks from Samurai, Dino Charge reused tracks from both Samurai and Megaforce, and Ninja Steel reused music from all three. But yeah, with Beast Morphers, it seems like looks like Hasbro finally put somebody in charge who actually knew what they were doing, and they're just keeping Canil around just because. Yeah, apparently they had to keep some of the staff from Saban. Mostly just as part of the contract or something. I don't know. I don't really remember. If I'm wrong, just please correct me on this. But again, it looks like they actually have people that know what they're doing and actually care about what they're making. Okay, yeah, backing up here. Power Rangers Beast Morphers is a very, very late adaptation of the 2011 Sentai Tokume Sentai Go Busters, which Go Busters in and of itself was actually a form of retaliation by its creator Yasuko Kobayashi for how the Neo Saban era bastardized her creation Samurai Sentai Shinkenger when they adapted into Power Rangers Samurai. Yeah, basically Kobayashi was not happy with how they treated Shinkenger when they made it into Samurai, so when she was put in charge of a Sentai series after Gokaiger, she basically decided to use that as basically a form of, some weird form of retaliation. Like, instead of taking the chance to just go and take a complete dump on Power Rangers, she basically tried to take the tropes that Power Rangers is familiar with and spit it in her own image. Something like that. Again, her forms of retaliation are kind of confusing. But yeah, it's very on the surface with Go Busters. You could see like again, it's just very window dressing surface level stuff. There's like a couple of plots. Okay, it's not really like it doesn't really match the plots of like previous Power Rangers seasons before the Neo Saban era. It was just kind of like, it was just kind of, okay, Kobayashi basically was just kind of, from what I could tell, she was basically trying to mimic the Mighty Morphin era style formula of basically just being a Monster of the Week show with no real connected plot until episode 35, where she just decided, okay, enough's enough, I'm going to actually put in an actual plot here. Yeah, after there was a series retool after they did a tie-in to the Gavan G reboot movie, where she actually decided to actually get started on making a story arc. But yeah, it's all very just like surface level, nods. Like like how how with Zordon is a floating blue head in a tube. She made the main villain of Go Busters, Messiah, a floating red skull in cyberspace, just constantly screaming and yelling at his AI companion, Enter, who is supposed to be, basically basically Kobayashi's sort of weird version of Alpha 5. Basically a floating head in a tube telling his AI partner, what to do, basically press the buttons and do the thing. But all right, aside from that, and also Kobayashi also gave the three Go Busters civilian powers with serious drawbacks. But okay, I'm just getting all over the place here. Anyways, focusing on Beast Morphers. Yeah, they seem to have been taking. They kept some stuff from Go Busters. Like for example, the three Rangers still have the same civilian powers, but it seems pretty obvious that since Go Busters since the Beast Morpher Rangers aren't getting their powers from basically cyberspace derived from a Messiah antivirus, basically. Yeah, no, since they're getting since this is like the fourth, third. Yeah, this is the third Power Rangers team that got their powers from the morphing grid by having their by having their genes altered. Yeah, they say that they're tapping from the morphing grid to power these Rangers, but in all honesty, they might as well have been using Adam. Yeah, the main organization, Grid Battle Force, is the one behind these Rangers. But in all honesty, I think they might have gotten themselves a partnership from Fontaine Futuristics. Okay, backing up here. Borrowing parts from Go Busters. In Go Busters, they have discovered a limitless energy source called Enaton. Or was it Enatron? Yeah, Enatron. And there's like several installation towers throughout the city, which would become the target of Enter and Messiah to acquire the Enatron to basically power Messiah. Yeah, to work around that, the Beast Morpher Rangers, the towers. It's because some childhood wunderkind, Nate Silva, has figured out a way to tap directly into the morphing grid, and unsurprisingly, you find out that somebody just managed to crack open the morphing grid that's basically the power source for all Power Rangers in the universe. Obviously, someone evil is going to take advantage of that. But don't worry, they ran all sorts of antivirus checks, and it's not like there's worms or dummy programs like that could, remove antivirus history or disguise themselves as a program that makes it look like everything is all crystal clear until you trigger a certain program. And surprise, they get infected by a sentient computer virus named Evok, who, when he gets into the system, decides to take two of the three who were originally meant to become the Beast Morpher Rangers and make them into his evil servants. Unsurprisingly, let's see, what's his name? Mayor Daniels. Mayor Daniels is not an idiot. Okay, he's kind of a jerk, but he's not when it comes to his. Mayor Daniels is kind of a jerk towards his son Devin, but he's not an idiot. And having a limitless energy source that's tapped directly into the morphing grid knowing full well that Earth has had itself a fairly bit of bad history when it comes to evil aliens and demons and whatnot, trying to combat the Power Rangers, who, by the way, draw their powers from the morphing grid. Yeah, he figures that this is basically just a giant red flare for trouble. And yeah, I gotta agree with him on that one. You are literally, it's basically just putting a giant come get us, bro, sign on your city. But no. Let's see, Commander Shaw, or, Uhura, yeah, basically she's like, yo, don't worry, we ran checks on that, it's all good. And again, again, Evox showed up. Not everything's good. Yeah, again, with two of her potential ranger candidates, Blaze and Roxy, becoming Evox evil servant avatars. But then again, Blaze, the potential Red Ranger candidate. Yeah, apparently when the avatars were created, it brought out the candidates' most repressed, most negative traits. Basically, their shadow selves, from to use Persona terminology. But then again, from what we've seen with Blaze, it's basically Jared from Power Rangers Jungle Fury all over again before he got possessed by Daishi. Before he was possessed by Daishi, we already saw that Jared was already an arrogant, brooding, was already just an arrogant, power-hungry jerk. And yeah, Blaze, yeah, he was already I'm pretty sure that with later encounters between Blaze's avatar and the Rangers, yeah, there basically would have been no difference between the avatar and Blaze. Yeah, Roxy, on the other hand, backing up again here. Yeah, apparently the avatars, Evox servants, were basically sort of like another writer versions of what the Rangers were originally going to be. Which is evident since, Blaze's avatar is a reskin of Dark Red Buster. Yeah, okay, going back to Go Busters again, with the aforementioned actual storyline, part of that was Enter gaining, basically copying Red Buster's powers and basically becoming a dark evil Red Buster. Dark Red Buster. So yeah, Blaze's avatar is a reskin of Dark Red Buster. Whereas Roxy's avatar, the potential Yellow Ranger candidate, is a yellow repaint of Escape's monster form. And yeah, not exactly sure if they're going to include Enter's monster form as an avatar version of the Gold Ranger. Spoilers. There's going to be 2 new Rangers coming. Oops. Yeah, spoilers on adapting from a 2011 Sentai series, a Sentai series that's 8 years old by this point. But yeah. Back to the splicing thing. The Ranger candidates are not only getting Atom tripped into them via the morphing grid, but the Atom, the Morphex. Yeah, you know what? I'm just calling it Atom. Yeah, the Atom is basically spliced in with the DNA of animals. And yeah, since there's no way to hide the animal motif from Go Busters, so yeah, the Red Ranger gets the powers of a cheetah, Blue gets a gorilla, and Yellow gets a bunny. Okay, it was originally a bunny, but they're gonna make it a jackrabbit here because jackrabbits make a little bit more sense for basically PMCs and to derive their superpowered PMC from instead of just a cute little bunny. Teeny bunny. Jackrabbits, can, that makes it sounds like it makes a little more sense. Okay, alright, yeah, so Devin, Mayor Adam's son, gets, sneaks into Grid Battle Force, the company that's responsible for tapping into the morphing grid. And, another thing, Grid Battle Force, that's a decent choice to adapt the GB in the Go Busters logo, since, the Go Busters emblem is a pair of shades with the GB under there, so, unless you wanted to be completely stupid, there's no way you could have ignored the GB there, so they worked it into Grid Battle Force, which is the organization that's, responsible for the Morphex towers. Yeah, so, yeah. Oh yeah, going back to yeah. So Devin, along with a janitor named Zoe, and the actual potential ranger candidate, let's see, Commander Shaw's son, Ravi, they become the new Beast Morpher Rangers. And yeah, that's actually kind of a nice little way to work around with the nice little retweaking of the dynamics of the original Go Busters. Yeah, Ryuji, who is Blue Buster, who is Ravi's counterpart, he was the oldest of the group. Well, yeah, when Messiah took their parents, Hiromu and Yoko were like 6 or 7 or so. Ryuji was like 13 at the time. So yeah, with Ravi, he was the one who was actually trained and personally chosen to become a ranger candidate. So he's already had the training to become a ranger, and well, basically fills in the eldest candidate for the dynamic of the team. Let's see, Devin. Not exactly a whole lot between him and Hiromu, and I definitely doubt that Devin's gonna freeze up when he sees a chicken. Yeah. Side note here: the Go Busters had some really weird weaknesses that came along with their civilian powers. Let's see. Yoko, who is Zoe's counterpart, yeah, she had incredible acrobatics, but like being able to jump really high. But it was a substantial drain on her blood sugar, so she needed to eat sweets constantly. Ryuji, Ravi's counterpart, possessed super strength, but if he gets overheated, he goes into a sadistic berserker state. And Hiromu, Devin's counterpart, is able to use super speed, but he completely freezes up if he's overtaken by feelings of fear. And when he was a child, Hiromu was attacked by chickens in a chicken coop. So whenever he even sees or hears anything about chicken, he just completely freezes up. But yeah, Devin, I doubt he was viciously attacked by chickens when he was a kid, unless Mayor Adams is an even worse dad than I first thought. So yeah, no civilian powers drawbacks this time. Just super strength, super agility, and super speed. They're done. All right, and back to Ravi and Roxy. Yeah, another weird thing from Go Busters that was actually better explained, that's, well, filled in perfectly here, was, yeah, that Ryuji, for some ungodly reason, was focused on trying to fight Escape, who is basically a second avatar that Messiah created once he thought that Enter wasn't getting the job done. Yeah, for some reason throughout the series, Ryuji was really focused on finding Escape, but nothing was ever established about that. Hell, Escape barely even had a personality. But Roxy and Ravi, on the other hand, yeah, they were originally seeing each other, but Ravi was the one who pushed Roxy away, since part of being a Beast Morpher Ranger was, that they can't be in a relationship. So yeah, he pushed her aside to focus on his duties, and yeah, she's not happy about that. And yeah, seeing Roxy turn into an Evox avatar, Ravi is definitely more feeling a little bit guilty about this. So, and yeah, it's learned later on that basically, let's see, Blaze and Roxy's core consciousness are stored inside these avatars. So, like a Bizarro, it's basically like a Bizarro SAO. In order to awaken Blaze and Roxy, let's see, Devin, Zoe, and Revi, they need to go and destroy the avatars that they need to destroy the avatars. So yeah, now we actually have a reason why our Blue Ranger is going after the escape animal. No, now we actually know why Ravi is going after Roxy to basically save his girlfriend, who he completely and utterly just emotionally destroyed. And although yeah, from what little we've seen of Blaze, the guy was an arrogant creep. Like I keep saying, Blaze was basically an arrogant creep, and I'm pretty sure that even when they destroy his avatar, he's still gonna go back to Evok because he's just that much of a horrible person. But again, that's just what we'll see here. I mean, yeah, from what little we've seen here, yeah, unlike the Neo Saban era, Beast Morphers looks like it's actually taking itself seriously. It's got a much more serious plot, and yeah, the tone is, yeah, it's definitely much more serious. it actually kind of harkens back to Operation to the first episode of Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue, where yeah, it has that same kind of tone to it. These three were chosen by basically to serve as protectors for a PMC because yeah, that's let's face it, Grid Battle Force is basically a private military company protecting their assets. It's like yeah, okay, less like a PMC. Yeah, it's basically like the Umbrella Corps. Yeah, they're the private soldiers of Umbrella. Yeah, yeah. They're basically the private security forces of the Grid Battle Force, and now they're basically the protectors of the city because yeah, the Morphex towers are most likely going to be attacked by Evok. So yeah, definitely a lot. Oh, and yeah, because of this new serious tone, it looks like there's far less chance of slipping in a stupid, immature fart humor here, which was one of the biggest detriments of the Neo Saban era. Because yeah, with no matter how hard they tried to take their basically it was for the reason why I just completely dropped off with Super Ninja Steel yeah, for the first episode because the entire first episode of Super Ninja Steel it focused on nothing but fart humor. Yeah, just yeah, because they have absolutely no respect for the intelligence of their audience. They have no respect for the time, and well, basically they just have no respect for the franchise that they were just running into the ground. But with Power Rangers now in the hands of Hasbro, they know they have to work hard in order to pull Power Rangers' reputation out of the absolute mire of toilet, immature, bad writing that had plagued the Neo Saban era. But yeah, from the first episode I've seen here, well, there's yeah, and also the set design definitely looks like it's improved after Ninja Seal because again, harkening back to Lightspeed Rescue. Well, okay, it doesn't the set for Grid Battle Forces HQ. It doesn't remind me all that much of of the Aqua Base. It actually kind of reminds me more of like the Astro Megaship, the deck of the Astro Megaship mixed in with the original command center for the Go Busters. Yeah, it looks like it's a proper blending of both elements to basically make something new. And yeah, it actually looks like it's an actual viable military location, or at least a location that doesn't exactly look down very well on immature toilet humor. But then again, we have yet to introduce the Buddy Roy's counterparts here, and well, we just have like two. Let's see, what was their names? Let's see. Oh, the twins Ben and Betty Burke. Yeah, they're two like security guards or they work the front desk or so, and they just provide like a little bit of light comic relief for when Mayor Daniel shows up, and they're search basically they're scanning him, and just with the metal detector, and he's just kind of ticklish, and they're just kind of bubbling goofs. But again, it's not overly obnoxious, and well, it's not overly obnoxious, it's not intrusive, and it doesn't completely overshadow the seriousness of Evok infecting the morphing grid. And yeah, this actually opens up a very big question here. Who is Evok? Who programmed him? And how did he know to attack the morphing grid? Does he have like some history or something, or the previously defeated villain faction to even know what the morphing grid is so he can infiltrate it and create the avatars? I mean, yeah. All right, and yeah, Mayor Daniels, yeah, as part of his argument about why tapping into the morphing grid was a bad idea, he mentions Rita Repulsa, Sledge, and Galvanax, who were previously attacked Earth, and I'm although again this kind of opens up a bit of a plot hole here since we don't know if Dino Charge and Ninja Steel took place in alternate continuities or something like that because of just well, anybody who's seen the ending of Dino Charge knows that they accidentally destroyed Earth. And yet they fixed it thanks to wibbly wobbly timey wimey Dino Energem nonsense. And yeah, not to mention all the stuff that happened because of after RPM when the Neo Saban era happened, they tried to write off RPM as out of continuity again, and I haven't seen I didn't see the 20th anniversary episode from Ninja Seal, mostly because I heard it was really really bad, And again, I had dropped off of Digisteel at that point, but again, the continuity in this series is kind of a twisted Gordian knot. But yeah, so if Sledge and Galvanax were mentioned, then they must have attacked this Earth. And yeah, also kind of a bit of a problem. Mayor Devon mentioned Rita, Sledge, and Galvanax, but he didn't mention any other villains like Astronema, like Astronema, Queen Banshira, Rancic, Master Orc, Daishi. Let's see, what was let's see, Moltor and Florius. Anybody. Only just the villain that was. Well, just meant the very original villain meant to cater to Mighty Morphin Nostalgia Rangers, and who was the big bad of the movie that was out 2 years back. And the last two villains, again, because they would most likely be the ones that we're familiar with. And let's face it, Master Xandrid was a complete and utter joke. And the Armada. But then again, Sledge didn't exactly do much better, and again, I have no idea if Galvanax came back during Super Digisteel, but from what I remember, Madame Odious was the one who was running the show after Galvanax was beaten. So did he come back, or was he like, I don't know. But yeah, Power Rangers Beast Morphers. There's a lot of promise here, but then again, we all said the same thing for the first episode of Dino Charge. After the absolute abysmal nightmare that was Megaforce, and we all know how well that turned out. But again, it looks like they're actually trying to take themselves seriously here, so I'm more than willing to give it a shot. Yep. And again, not mentioning Super Sentai Psycho Battle because, well, I'll save that for when I'll save that segment for when we get to Ryu Soldier. Yeah, next time we have Zeo episode 26. Let's see, Beast Morphers episode 2, where I'll stop doing the compare and contrasts and just focus on the main plot. Oh yeah, and the main plot of the episode, yeah, it's basically just an introductory episode, getting the characters' motivations up and done with, and yeah, kind of a retread of the whole Wes and Mr. Collins dynamic from Time Force. Yeah, kind of, sorta. But again, we'll see where it goes from there. Yeah, basically, it was a decent setup episode with, from what I could tell, none of Gnome Keneal's music, just making everything sound so boring. The music actually fit the tone of the scenes. So, yeah. With Power Rangers in the hands of Hasbro, just let me see here. Just, we've had to endure like 8 or so years of the Neo Saban era. This is your last chance, Hasbro. Just make sure that Power Rangers does not wind up as a zombie franchise like The Simpsons. Just don't. Your first episode shows a lot of promise. I have faith in you. I'm trusting you guys. You could do this. You've done so before with Transformers. So yeah, you got first episode. It's going to take like a couple more just to really wow me. But from what I've seen, you can only go up from here. And yeah, just waiting until Ryu Soldier to, basically pad out this vlog. So till then, see ya, and may the power protect you.